Rostislav from Lurnby here, and today I want to share a new feature which I think is quite important to me, and probably quite important to anybody who's going to use this platform in the future, and that's exporting, right? So as you guys already know, I think it's very important to think about friction and making it as easy as possible to get information into the system. Once the information is in one place, it becomes possible for us to act on it, right? In the same way, right? We're removing that barrier of getting started. We can start reading, we can highlight, we can review, we can take notes, we can organize our highlights. And that's all good and fine, but that's only one part of the process of learning and kind of mastering certain kinds of information. Another very important part is what you do with that information afterwards, right? We want to transform that somehow. We want to tell people about it. We want to share it. Maybe we want to write about it and synthesize our own thoughts. Now, there's a few places you can already start to do that in Lurnby, right? So some of the note-taking features. And there's a lot more things that we plan to build in the future. But at the moment, you might already have a place where you love to write, where you love to organize your ideas, and you love to organize your thoughts. And I think it's extremely important to make it as easy as possible for you to get that information out of Lurnby and into whatever application you're working with so that you can kind of keep mastering it and pursue your own learning goals. So that's why exporting was very important for me and certainly a deal breaker, not least of which because I don't believe that anybody should be locked into a system. If you've put in the work here to read, to highlight, to organize, you own that. That's yours. You should be able to take that with you. So that being said, how does it work actually in Lurnby? Well, there's two places where you can currently export your highlights from. So one is specifically from the actual article page, right? So as you can see, every article or book or that you've added into Lurnby has highlights, right? If you're highlighting while you're reading, they're stored there, right? So if I wanted to open that up, you'll now see this new section up top called Export Highlights, right? So it's as simple as clicking, and then I have the option, do I want a JSON file or do I want a text file? So if I click Export as Text, essentially I'll get a message that says, hey, it's being prepared, and I'll receive an email with instructions shortly. Right, so that's one way that we can export, which is straight from the highlight. And we can already see what that looks like. So here we go. I just got this email. If I open that up, I get shown a text file. And there you see the book of beautiful questions. And then everything, when you're exporting from a book, you have the actual, whatever the title was, where it's from. In this case, this was an EPUB file. And then I have my highlight text. I have a note if I added any of my own. If the highlight is part of any topics, you'll have a comma-separated list of those topics. And then so on and so on for every highlight that's in that book, which I believe was something like 35. So that's that, right? So that's exporting straight from the article page. The other place that you can currently export is on the highlights page, right? So when I come to my highlights section, I see all of my highlights across all the different books and articles that I'm reading. Currently, I have 464 highlights in this system. So if I then wanted to go and I filter by something, like one of my topics is black swans, and then all of a sudden that filters my list to only things that I've added to this topic. And you'll see this new export these highlights feature appear. So I click that. This time, let's export a JSON file. The same thing, the export's being prepared, and I'll receive email instructions with it shortly. Right, so now this is no longer specific to one single article. It's across all the different articles that I have. So once again, that just arrived. Let's see what that looks like. I believe it's this guy. Ta-da! So here we go. This opens up a JSON file, which opens up, and then there you see it. Right, so now you have highlights. Pardon my laptop, which is a little slow at the moment and dying. But the same thing, so for every highlight is going to be in its own dict in its JSON format. You'll have the from, you have the source, whatever the text was, whatever the notes, and then whatever those topics were for every single highlight, right? So you'll see what books they were from or what articles they were from. If there's a URL, it'll be there. And you get the idea, right? So there you go. Those are the two kinds of methods that we currently have for exporting. At the moment, we haven't implemented full export of everything in your account, but if that's important to you and if you want all of your information in a different format, it's as simple as just emailing me. It's rr@Lurnby, and then we'll get the information out of your account if you need it that way. So thanks, and yeah, let's learn.